Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today from Archive Today, because the New York Times is behind a paywall, the New York Times, the Gray Lady, as it's often referred to in the business, venting at Democrats and fearing Trump, liberal donors pull back cash. Demoralized donors are frustrated with Democrats' failings and worried about retribution from the president. Their frugality has left liberal groups struggling to fight the new administration. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we said here on the BuzWeaver channel, when it came to the establishment party and their coordination, a lot of it does come down to money. And we saw this right after the debate with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They were not happy with Joe Biden, despite the fact that for the last 4 years, the media had been telling people and the White House that Joe Biden was sharp as a tack. He was just, all there with it, knows what was going on. And in reality, of course, he was just a vessel for the Democrat Party and for the establishment. So donors to pro-Biden super PAC are said to withhold roughly $90 million. And they dropped Joe Biden like a potato. So as I like to say, as easily as they installed Joe Biden, they uninstalled Joe Biden. So let's read from the Gray Lady here. The demoralization and fear gripping blue America in the early weeks of President Trump's administration have left liberal groups and their allies struggling for cash, hurting their ability to effectively combat the right-wing transformation of the federal government. You can tell it's from the New York Times, the right wing. Maybe the New York Times needs to realize that Donald Trump is above water. His approval is 49.2. And he received 49.9 because they couldn't give him that extra percentage of the popular vote. So, right wing. The small dollar online spigot that powered oppositions to the first Trump administration has slowed to a trickle as shaken liberal voters withhold their donations. I love the language here to try to keep your attention, I guess. Charitable foundations that have long supported causes like voting rights, L.G.B.T.Q, equality and immigrants' rights are pulling back, devoting time to prepare for expected investigations from the Republican-led Congress. Why? Remember, if you've done nothing wrong, you wouldn't need a pardon. If you've not done anything wrong, you wouldn't need an investigation. So why are they concerned about it? It's interesting, is it not? Because their fear is because they knew what they were doing to the opposition. They knew what they were doing. When we talked about how the establishment uniparty had hijacked our culture, hijacked our institutions, and hijacked our justice system, this is exactly what they were doing. They were not allowing people to say things and do things, and they had all the power. They could do whatever they wanted to. And it's just fascinating to me. And, of course, you guys can visit this article by going to the New York Times and then putting this in the Archive Today website. And but let's listen to some of the reaction from the Democrats and the media trying to cover for what's actually happening, what the American people voted Trump to do.
I think the issue is they're not whacking enough. There's this concept in private equity when you get a bankrupt company and you go in there, you cut 20% more than your initial read. And then you find like a pool of mercury, the organization gels back together again. Always cut deeper, harder when there's fat and waste. The FAA, it's not the people. The code is cobalt. It's from the 60s. It needs CapEx put into it for the technology to be upgraded to make it safer. Fat like a chicken. All of these agencies are like big fat chickens dripping over barbecues of fat. This is the best barbecue I've ever seen, but I don't think it's happening fast enough. They're not cutting enough. Keep slashing.
And here's Kevin O'Leary saying more needs to be done, that DOJ and the president needs to be doing more. And there was even discussion on the numbers, like it's 700 something a day being deported. And I think it was Osmongold that said, those are rookie numbers. Come on, man. So they're working as quickly as they can. But it is interesting that even at the rate and pace that they are working right now, it is still irritating the Democrats, and they are still upset by it all. And we're going to move over here to Benny Johnson, because this was really fascinating.
There was an Inspector General audit last year that showed over an 8-year period, the Social Security Administration made almost $72 billion in improper payments, a little less than 1% of payments in that time period. Now, the report also says that most of these improper payments were overpayments, not payments to deceased people or people who didn't qualify to receive these payments. At the same time, Jose, this effort by DOJ is to go through this agency like every other and try to weed out waste and fraud.
Yeah, massive waste and fraud, and I meant to post the numbers of the age groups, right, that were receiving Social Security. It went all the way up to, like, I think it was 159. Let me check my bookmarks real quick now that I mentioned it here, because here on the BuzWeaver channel, we keep a here it is right here. According to the Social Security database, these are the numbers of people in each age bucket that the death filed get set to false. Wow. So this is where all the money was going. This is the ages of people that were still getting Social Security all the way up to 199 years old. Isn't that amazing? Look at this. People at 130 to 139 were still getting, there was 3,936,000 people being paid out by Social Security. So when you see CNN and them talking about this, or Kevin O'Leary talking about this, this is what they're talking about. It's absolutely extraordinary. Now, I advanced this quite a bit to kind of give you more context when it comes to the Democrats and where they are, and you know, they complained about everyone being you know, on the wrong side of history. Well, now they're the ones on the wrong side of history.
In terms of the Democrats, I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they haven't asked me for advice. But if I did, I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck. I mean, think about it. Over the past 4 years, the Democrats mismanaged Congress, they mismanaged COVID, they mismanaged the economy, they mismanaged inflation, they mismanaged the national debt, they mismanaged Afghanistan. More recently, in their opposition to President Trump and Mr. Musk, the Democrats have chosen to support the bureaucrats and the spending porn over the American taxpayer. Just like they support illegal immigration over the rule of law, just like they support transgender athletes over women's sports, just like they support Hamas terrorists over Israel. All Democrats are not like this, but the party is controlled right now by people who majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers. I know these people. They think women, they think men can breastfeed.
Now, this is Kennedy going off on pretty much everything. If you were to narrow everything down, he certainly narrowed it down. A lot of the things that we covered here on the BuzWeaver channel, he just mentioned in a matter of just a minute and 22 seconds. So it's just amazing to see how, you know, this is all being exposed. This is all coming out. And none of us have to feel defeated or deflated or irritated or angst any longer at the idea that we can see that this is all happening, yet it's just unfolding. Because remember, the left's attitude and the establishment's attitude during all this, particularly the lawfare, was who's going to do something about it? Well, now Trump is doing something about it, and they're very, very, very upset about it. And obviously we see it here with the mental health issues. There was that report that we covered where it showed that many people on the left and Democrats are having mental health issues as a result of Donald Trump's victory. And it's just... And that's the way it is. But at the same time, we also have to remember how successful Donald Trump is so far, and his approval is massive. If you guys haven't seen it already, you can go to my main channel area and go to the video that I just released a day ago, yesterday. Whoa, whoa, whoa. CNN Harry Eaton blown away by Donald Trump's approval. And everything is going Trump's way. It's absolutely extraordinary how everything is working out for the president for right now. It's not perfect, but it is working out in all their challenges. The judges are coming out and saying they don't have standing, or, you know, the Democrats don't have standing. So, yeah, they're definitely facing a lot of problems right now, and they're venting, and they're upset, and they're angry. And I tried to find the video of the young lady that we showed last week, but, of course, I couldn't play the actual audio because it was rant-filled with F-bombs and everything else because of how angry she was at the Democrats not doing anything. And it isn't that the Democrats aren't doing anything. No, they're coming out. They're talking in front of the cameras, right? They're pandering to their base to make it look like they're resisting Donald Trump. But in reality, in the background, they're pleading with Donald Trump. And but this is the show, right? They have to come out and they have to put on this big performance to make it look as though they're doing something. But in reality, when, behind closed doors, it's a whole other story. But this young lady was upset that Democrats weren't doing more. And it wasn't that they weren't doing more. It's they can't now. They're not in power. The establishment is not in power right now. The establishment is there still trying to obstruct and create problems, but they don't have the ultimate power, right? They're not shutting people down the way they were shutting everyone down for the last 4 years. So it's absolutely extraordinary. But I'd love to get your thoughts and comments down in the public section below. Are you enjoying this process? Are you seeing some amazing things happen right in front of your own eyes? You'll have to let me know down there in the comments. That's for everyone here on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey. Love to hear from all of you. And, of course, on TikTok as well. Yep, the videos are rolling out now on TikTok, so we'll see how much longer that's going to last. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. And appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, of course. And then that way you can select notifications and let you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.